Sausage.
Hello, 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 and welcome, welcome to Attack the Backlog, the podcast where I, Mark Kuznez, that's me, tries to make a dent in their backlog one game at a time. This episode is all about Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales. That's right. I'm playing Spider-Man Miles Morales. I don't know why I made it like that was going to be some big old, oh my god thing. It's just a game about Spider-Man, a Spider-Man. And yeah, I have been interested in this game for a while because I was a fan of the first game, the first Insomniac game, Spider-Man, but I didn't love it. I thought it was a bit bloated, had certain missions and stuff I didn't like. For instance, the stealth missions were not to my liking. I did not enjoy those. And I wasn't as impressed with it as others because it was just another Spider-Man game. It was a very good one, yes, but it wasn't some revolutionary take on the character. They weren't doing new things. There were still muggings to stop and car chases to stop and jewelry stores being broken into. It was nothing we haven't seen before. It just looked nicer and had a really well-crafted, well-acted story in it. And as I say that, I think to myself, why exactly was I excited to play Miles Morales? Why was I interested when my main issue with Spider-Man was it's just another Spider-Man game? It's not doing anything new. It's just another one that's well made. Yay, I guess maybe I don't like Spider-Man or I'm burnt out. But it's been a while since I played that, so maybe I'm not. And what sparked this finally tacking the backlog of my Spider-Man games that I have not played was my MCU rewatch, which I'm now just through Eternals, and that has made its way to the bottom of the list. We have a new number 26, I think, in the total MCU movies so far up to that point. But in addition to doing an MCU rewatch, I decided that in preparation for eventually getting to No Way Home, which is my next movie in the MCU rewatch, I would do a Spider-Man rewatch as well. Not the Spider-Verse movies, but Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, the Raimi Spider-Mans, and the Amazing Spider-Man movies. So, Spider-Man has just been all up in my life. First in Civil War, then we had Homecoming, Far From Home, Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, The Amazing Spider-Man. I have The Amazing Spider-Man 2 left. And then No Way Home, which I really did not like. I was super down on that movie when it originally came out. I haven't watched it again since. But I am expecting, based on my feelings towards the other Spider-Man movies, especially the Raimi ones, which have not aged well for me, that my feelings for No Way Home will increase drastically. I don't know about that, but I'm expecting to like it more than I did that first time. Because my favorite live-action Spider-Man movie now is Far From Home. I really, really like that, which is probably controversial because I think it's not the most well-received of the Hollands. I think people would put it at number 3, the majority of people. But I really liked it. I liked the take on Mysterio, which I think was the realization, the successful realization of what they were trying to do in Iron Man 3 with the Mandarin. But that's enough about that. We're here to talk about Miles Morales. I am 6 hours in, roughly, and just finished the mission where I was, and spoilers, all that, teaming up with, is her name Finn, I think, and the mission ended with another boss fight with Rhino. So let us get to it. This is another Spider-Man game. This is another Insomniac Spider-Man game. It is very pretty. It has good acting. And it's another Spider-Man game. And I'm just not really feeling it. I know a lot of people love to talk about how fun swinging through the city is, and it is enjoyable. It is a very fun way to traverse an area. I will not deny that. A lot of that goes into the quality of the animations, the variety of the swinging animations. It's very fluid, and it makes the swinging feel that much better. But it's not so great that I won't use fast travel. I will fast travel when there is something to do on the opposite end of the city. I'm not going to swing all the way there. I will enjoy swinging when I am potentially interested in mopping up trophies, going after side missions I didn't complete. But outside of that, I don't love it so much that I'm going to take away from the ability to get to things faster because it just feels that great. But the real issue I have with the game is that I'm just not connecting with it. The story, while well acted, isn't doing a whole hell of a lot for me. And I realized this the second night I was playing it, that what's missing from Miles Morales, and I think it was missing from Spider-Man 1 as well, is that lighter tone, is that tonal balance between the darker and sadder elements of Spider-Man's life and his story, depending on the take on it, or the story they're telling with the antagonists of that particular story. The lighter stuff, which we get in all of the movies, just isn't there. And if it is there, it just doesn't work for me at all, because I, after 6 hours, realized I haven't had any moment where, story-wise, I thought to myself, you know what, this is really fun. I'm having fun. I'm having some fun with some of the gameplay, but with the story and the characters, I don't care. I don't care about them. I don't care about the struggles. It's just a kind of a downer, which surprised me. But I think it goes a long way in making the overall experience feel less engaging for me. And then on top of that, gameplay-wise, I don't like playing it all that much, because while the close quarters combat is all right, utilizing the very similar that was popularized, I wouldn't say was introduced, I'm sure there were games that did it before, but that Arkham style of countering, doing melee attacks, doing combos, and then countering when the little thing above your head goes, hey, you better counter now because you're about to get hit. I think even something like Assassin's Creed, the first one, had that in. That came out before Batman. But I really like that countering system. What I don't like in Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales, especially, which I don't know if was the case to this degree in the first game, is the abundance of ranged attackers, those with rifles that are shooting you from afar, they just become a pain in the ass to deal with. I'm trying to engage with close quarters combat, and then there are shooters all over the place that I have to deal with first because they're just going to be a nuisance until I deal with them. I don't like that. I don't find that fun. Every time they introduce a new ability for you, they immediately introduce a new enemy that can counter that ability. I get it. You don't want to give the player a bunch of OP stuff that makes it so the game becomes super easy. And I'm playing it on the default difficulty. But every time that happens, I think, God, could you maybe give me a little bit more time to feel OP with this? No, okay, I get it. But I'm just not loving the combat. The very simplistic puzzle moments where you have an environment and you have to turn a few things around, move this here, move this there, don't do a lot for me. The few times you have to use your spidey sense in detective vision mode to solve a puzzle, which is just, hey, go into this room and interact with these specific things that are highlighted yellow. Done and done. Oh, here's a power box. You need to follow the power lines to turn it on. Okay. Great. And then what really took me by surprise was the amount of stealth and Batman Arkham-ish moments where you are going into a space. And this could have been, it's been a while since I played it first. This could have been a lot of the gameplay in the first one as well. But going into these spaces and then taking out enemies silently, or you could just go in there loud if you want, but you're going to have to deal with a lot of enemies engaging with you at the same time. So it's to your benefit to play it as quiet as possible. I didn't like doing that either. I appreciate that when you use your little spidey sense ability, it'll tell you if an enemy is safe to take down in a stealthy way, or if doing so will get the attention of one or more enemies. So that's nice and makes it a little bit easier to deal in those situations. I don't like the ability to cloak as Miles because that just gives them more opportunities to give you stealth scenarios because now you can go invisible. I don't know what I was thinking when I picked it. None of this comes as a surprise to me, and I'm sure I am upsetting a lot of people who love this game and love the Spider-Man games from Insomniac. I'm not saying they're bad because I don't think they're bad games. They are very well-made games. It is definitely a me thing here more than any of the other games I've played in a while because, like I said, I didn't love the first game. I thought it was enjoyable enough. I had a good time with it. Beat it. Fine. But my takeaway from it was this is just another Spider-Man game. And why should anyone be surprised that my takeaway so far from Miles Morales is, oh, look, it's another Spider-Man game. It's why I wasn't excited anytime I saw Spider-Man 2. Why I haven't picked up that anytime during various sales or whatnot. It's because I think I am just burnt out on Spider-Man games being the same thing over and over and over again. That's part of what I loved about Far From Home. It wasn't in New York. We had all these cool, unique, different settings for Spider-Man that made that exciting. And one of my biggest takeaways, though, too, is the fact that I don't think there is enough of that light touch to the story and the characters. And if it is there, if you believe it's there and just think I'm not seeing it, then that itself is a problem because it just means it's not working for me. But I know that at least one other person was agreeing with me in that realization. But yeah, that's pretty much where I am at currently with Spider-Man Miles Morales. I'm not excited about this in two ways. I'm not excited to play more, but I'm also just bummed to not be having more fun than I am, because I genuinely wanted to have fun. Even though it may seem like I went into this with the mindset of someone who was already going to not like it, I didn't. I went into it thinking, man, I'm kind of having fun doing this MCU rewatch and doing all these Spider-Man movies. I was so pleasantly surprised by Far From Home. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised by Miles Morales. I love the Spider-Verse movies. This could be a nice little surprise, and it's not going to be a long game. And now I'm just here thinking to myself, did I make a mistake? And also, man, I wish I liked this game. Also, so many alsos. One of my other big takeaways currently is just, it sucks that Insomniac is just going to be marveling it up for the next 10 years or however long it is. Wolverine, X-Men, probably Spider-Man 3, maybe a Wolverine 2, or another X-Men character. And then you have that, I don't remember what was revealed, but it's just a bit sad. But you should at least be happy now, because you don't need to spend any more time with me and my nonsense, because that is it for this here episode. Once again, I am Mark Kuznez. You all can find me pretty much everywhere at PX Sausage. If you enjoy this show, or any of the stuff I do and what have you can support me and my nonsense over at patreon.com/PXS. There you can get access to a monthly Q&A, some private news, some fancy Discord roles, a private Discord channel, random drops here and there, and more. If you fancy, depending on your tier. Or you can just support me to support me if you fancy. This is just a mess. I'm so sad by this. This episode makes me the saddest of them all. That is again patreon.com/PXS. Make me happy by supporting me on Patreon. In addition to the Patreon, you can find links to the site, the YouTube, the Discord, and so much more over at pxsausage.com. But that is it. That is all. As always, I hope you enjoyed this here episode, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. But for now, adios, arrivederci.